that we've got to look at what's causing that.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like you're having to work quite hard to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it feels like compared to how hard it was before,
Yeah.
the kids. So,
Okay.
but even then, it's still it feels like it's harder than it ought to be. Yeah.
Do you ever think about your kicking much?
So I think about it.
Yeah.
From time to time, yeah. But meaning.
So do you think, oh, I'm not kicking, and then start to engage your kick every now and again, or do you?
I see what you mean. Okay, so sometimes, yeah. So sometimes I think, oh, I'll try and kick sort of further upwards almost, as it were, to try and get my legs up.
Yeah.
But I don't always think that.
Okay, all right. Well, let's play it through, and we'll talk it through. So there's a couple of major things. So obviously we're looking for the biggies. We can't work on everything, but we work on the big ones, and hopefully those corrections will kind of pass down the chain, if you like. All right. So let's just have a look at you from the start. That's what I mean about looking nice. Just the kind of the quick, nice high tempo turnover. That's really good, really good. But all that's happening is you're just not quite. Yeah, I'll come back to that. So what's not quite happening is you're not getting hold of the water at the front, and getting your arms turning over, but they're just not getting purchase at the front of the stroke. Okay. And it's that's obviously what generates the propulsion and the momentum, which starts to pull the legs up. Okay, so there's a couple of it's like a multiple kind of pronged attack we need to do with this really. All right.
All right.
Can't really see much from this angle actually. It's not kind of giving us many clues, because from side on actually looks pretty good. Right. Your head position's a little bit high. I'm not too concerned about that really. It's not too bad. There's a little bit of a clue here about one thing that's happening is you've got a big bend in the arm here,
Right.
and your hand is spearing in right in front of your head.
Yeah.
Okay, which doesn't set up for a good catch. So if I show you what I'm meaning by this. So you're going to swim more like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so have a look from above. So the arms are swinging around the outside, which is similar to what yours do. They actually enter the water right out here, look.
And where's my hand entering?
Yours is entering here.
Right.
Okay. So and as a result, the hand kind of spears in this direction, and then you have to pull it out wide.
Oh, okay.
So rather than, again, kind of thinking like discus thrower, I always think about discus throwers, the arm is coming around this way, and the momentum and the body roll makes that arm continue once it enters the water.
Right.
And that's how you end up in the right kind of position. What yours is doing is coming the other way, coming in here, and then you're going to slide out that way.
Okay.
Okay. So we need to. Well, it's busy in here today. And we'll have another look at that from a different angle in a second. It's the same kind of thing on the left. Spearing in really close to the headlock.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just not getting traction in front of the stroke. So we're going to dip underneath the water here. So what we're looking for here is, the major thing for you is what's causing those legs to split. Legs to drop and the legs to split like that.
I've never seen this many people in the pool. I can pull my two out if it's too busy and can move people over.
So I'm just looking and seeing what we think. You are lifting your head. One of the effects of lifting your head here is that it's making your chest come up.
Yeah. So
your spine is kind of curving up here, and you're presenting your chest to the oncoming water, which is slowing you down.
I suspect if I didn't lift my head up, I wouldn't be able to. I'd be underwater trying to breathe, right?
So, I mean that's why it's kind of a multi kind of level approach.
Okay.
We need to attack a few things.
Yeah.
Because you're quite right. If you lift your head down, just try and breathe from the side. You're going to be so low in the water you won't get any breath.
Yeah.
So we need to look at different ways that we're actually going to raise you up. But that's one of the things we need to kind of keep an eye on. Now, you're watching that hand. Yeah, so
Comes in at quite a nice depth, but then
it was the right, wasn't it? Which was coming in and sliding out more.
the right one slides down.
So that hand actually comes in quite nicely, as Corin says there. So it spears in. It comes to a decent depth. See, the shoulder is above the elbow, is above the wrist. So that's the right kind of position to be in, so that's good. But then what happens is it sits there, hangs there, and you stall. You stall. Because you're effectively kind of, well, it's a bit of let's call it an overglide, really. So the hand's just sitting there, and it creates an imbalance in the stroke. So you continue to rotate, so you're almost vertically in the water. The legs split because all they're trying to balance up that's happening in front of you. You're becoming unbalanced, and then you start to sink. See how your whole body is drifted down that way. And here's the right hand, which is the major kind of, it's worse than the other hand in terms of it comes in really close here. Pushes out and then slides out wide. So you've got this happening. So a combination of the two sides, you've got one hand coming in and it's hanging there, not generating propulsion. And then the other one is doing the same kind of thing, which causes a stall, which is just kind of coming in like that. So that doesn't generate any propulsion. So yeah, the legs split there. Yeah. And again, a bit of a pause. So we need to get those arms balanced up. So entering the water at a better position. We'll have a look from above here. On the left hand, so it's actually coming into the right kind of depth. It's in front of the shoulder actually. It's not too bad. So I'm not too concerned about that one, but certainly right. Coming in here. And then there's the split of the legs there. This is that effectively ends up like it's a bit of a parachute. So we need to, yeah. So your toes. So when you kick out like this, you've got to point your toes. Yeah, because this is just an anchor at the back of you here. So if I show you just for visualization, if I show you using this one quite a lot actually, so I won't do that. So Sally's a similar type of thing, kind of a swinging type stroke. Same kind of punch and rhythm as what you've got, but if you look at what her hands do, spearing in the front of the shoulder like that one is, and then the right hand side, front of the shoulder. But what they're doing is they're staying straight underneath the water here. So that's the main key, is that they're coming in front of the shoulder, and they're getting down deep and getting straight over the top of that stroke. So there's no delay at the front of the stroke where it just kind of hangs about and doesn't really do much. It's a constant propulsion all the time. You've got that turnover, we just need to put those shovels in the front, right?
Your hand position comes in nicely, like that, but then it needs
Trying to pull it back,
pull it back.
Yeah. And I think what's actually causing the delay is the breathing. You're taking a long time breathing. Now, I don't think the breathing is actually a major problem. I think it may be just a habit that you got into in terms of taking too long to breathe. So you're going to get your breathing every 2 strokes. Okay? So you're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. You're going to make that breath much snappier. Because the longer you spend on your side, the more the pause there is, the more you start to sink. You've got to breathe back in again. You can't have that delay on the side there. So that's the front end of the stroke. We'll do some kind of manual adjustments, so it won't be so much drills based, I don't think, today. We'll give you some verbal feedback in terms of Jaspal, you need to put your arm out wider, in deeper, so you can feel what it's like. Get you to do a few lengths like that. We'll do it with the fins on, so that you've got a little bit more control and time to think, generate a little bit more propulsion. Okay. What we're going to do before we do that, when we do this bit back to front, is we're going to have a look at your kick. Because it's a bit of a two-beat in terms of they are moving with each stroke, but they're not really having much effect at all, really. And as we said before, one of the major things is that you're not pointing your toes at all. So they are, you've done the daggers drill with the feet down. It's done that in the squad where we do, in fact we'll do it today. I won't tell you what it is because we'll do it today. It just demonstrates the importance of pointing your toes.
Oh, swimming along with your feet, with your flexed and straight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's effectively what you're doing here, and it has a massive impact. Anything at the back of the stroke pulls you back and then just pulls you down like this. So we're going to start off with getting used to kick. It doesn't have to be we're not going to get you doing kick drills, but just a gentle flutter kick with the toes pointed should be enough just to give you a bit more rhythm and balance and a little bit of propulsion to stroke, and it will help get the legs up a little bit. Okay? We're going to work on having that breathing a bit snappier, and again with the fins on we're going to do some manipulation of your stroke to see if we can get those arms a little bit more swinging around the sides more, so you're not quite that far out, but you'll be spearing in out here as opposed to where it is at the moment. Alright. Let's just play this through a little bit more. Yeah. So they're both coming in short here. And everything else I see is all the other issues or faults or whatever you want to call them are all related to the things that we've already said.
Right.
So the splitting of the legs, the kind of the loss of momentum, obviously the low body position is all related to what I just said. That woman in the corner. What's happened to her?
Oh, it's a wide angle thing, isn't it?
There's an imp in the corner swimming next to you. So let's just see if there's anything else in here we can see. This is just showing what we were talking about before. There's that slide out, the elbow drops. It's not until you get down here. I mean, that's actually, it's a bit wide, but that's actually not too bad. You've got your hand down vertical. But you're pushing back okay there. This is the hand that comes into a nice depth. But it's just a little bit weak on the pull through.
Weak in the, because it's taken too long together.
Yeah, so it's sitting there, sitting at the front. And it hangs about a little bit there, and it's a little bit kind of elbow led in terms of slipping right back. So if I show you just kind of what the opposite looks like. So you can see Rebecca Adlington here. So the elbow, so the hand out there is not if you take it back to this point, it's not too dissimilar to where yours starts. But her elbow, see the hand starts to dip, the elbow stays high, and that's where you can see it goes up. And then you end up with this big paddle. So her upper arm and her forearm and her hand are all now the paddle, the whole lot. And the whole lot gets pushed back, all the way back, like that. Whereas yours is a little bit, the elbow is leading, so it slides back through this way, rather than being that way. You've got to have the elbows up and out.
Okay.
All right, but that's what we can manually get you to change as part of the correction that we do.
How do you find sculling when you've done skull drills?
It's okay. Sculling is.
Yeah.
I think sculling is okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we can try that. Yeah,
About getting over the top.
yeah, yeah.
See, I understand that concept of doing that, but
It's
yeah,
getting it
yeah.
as part of the stroke.
Yeah, I mean, if you visualize, I mean, I do this myself because I have a little bit of this in my stroke, well, probably quite a lot actually, but I've always been an overglider because I breathe on one side. I spend a little bit too long breathing on one side, so I do have an overglide in my stroke. But what I've started to try and do, almost kind of visualizing this, is that definite front of the stroke, definite push down. You know, and if nothing else, if you're swimming along, just thinking about almost something like Superman with the arms wide,
Yeah.
as opposed to over here somewhere, and just extending forward and then opening that armpit up. You've got to get that action.
Yeah,
Turn
yeah,
that hand into that paddle. Don't let it come back this way, elbow led. And you can almost kind of, well, what I do is actually I swim it with my head a little bit, and I actually kind of, I watch my own hand, watch my own arms, and you can see it go, just even if there's a little kind of break there, a little pause where you go click, and then you know that you've got over the top. So you can be, a lot of this is the kind of the awareness of it. And the drills like the skill number one, again, the same thing. You look at yourself in this position, and then skill number two, it's all good position to be in, because you're like you're trussed up like a chicken, you know. So we'll work through that as well. But we'll start off with doing some kick work, do some torpedo, some ballerina work, some torpedo work, and then with the fins on, some full stroke. And just see if you can just get you swimming with a nice, relaxed, rhythmical kick. Okay? Even if you only 2-beat kick, as long as your toes are pointed and the legs are together, it'll be okay. Okay? And then once we've got you happier with the fins on and doing a decent bit of kick, we'll then start to work on the front end with the fins on.
Right.
Okay? And I think that should be enough to make some good progress. Today. I wonder if I've got your.
Oh, the original one, because it looks, to me, that looks similar to the original.
Just grabs the whole thing.
Yeah.
Your straight rate. Turn it back forward, swim efficiently through the water. Start to stroke because you're.
Is that my body? Can I do breaststroke? I find that.
You've not got the floaty shorts on there, though.
Oh, well, there is that, yeah.
It's difficult to rewatch these analysis videos. In fact, you can see it.
Kicking harder than
What's
kicking
going on
harder.
with this? That's bizarre.
5 times speed.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
Oh, it's playing back what you were talking to.
Up here, this is.
You want to
I mean, look at that. I mean, that's holding your breath. Feels.
It's a pool, isn't it?
It is a pool. Hazards of pools. There's it. When you turn to breathe on the other side, I want to get that clip of you being. Here. It's going to happen now. Did you see that? That is great.
Oh, yeah.
That is quite impressive. Going under the water.
I remember that.
You're not. You're not. Because if we play it in real time, did you see that sink? You can really see the stall there.
Yeah.
Just go. But you're nowhere near like that now because your
yeah.
stroke rate is so much better. That's the rhythm helping you out there. So there is a lot of improvement there. You're like an advanced version of that. You're like, when was that? January
2.5 years ago.
January 2000. See, You've done all right in 19 years.
It was 2.5 years ago. It was June.
2.5 years ago.
It was June 17.
Is that how long?
I don't know how, I just looked and it just said, oh, June.
All right, so you can see there. I mean, that's quite interesting to watch.
Lifting up the head. Lift the head up.
Yeah.
The legs drop. We've already seen that.
So we'll get you in.
See your whole face coming out of the water.
Ballerina,
Lifting your head up.
torpedo push-ups.
Holding your breath.
Nice full stroke.
Fills your lungs full of air.
And then we'll do the chest up. Nice snappy breath.
The chest goes up.
Two that
The legs come down out.
Okay.
Same thing. There's two things now. Up here.
Entry.
This isn't your issue. This is your issue. Causing this. This is a symptom.
So I grab my fin to affect
Yep. Yep. We'll work with
The legs are also low because it's all we play it in real time. Did you see that sit?
Yeah.
As soon as you take a stroke,
As
as soon as you hit the front of it, as soon as you hit the front of that, and there's nothing happening here, there's nothing making you carrying you through the water. You are stalled. Okay? And if you're stalled, that's what happens.
I'll have to leave that.
6 inches straight
I'll
down.
have to leave that where it is. We're still recording.